Let's go.
Okay, I'm now beginning day, I think, 19, leaving town, and I'm really hoping to make Lyon in a couple of days. Since I lost about a day and a half, it's gonna make it a little tough for me to do it in 2 days. But I'm leaving. I'm leaving earlier than I did yesterday. Not as early as I really had hoped to leave today, but if I can get in a little over 30 kilometers a day these next 2 days, I should be able to make it to Lyon in a couple of days. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, as I'm leaving town this morning, I think off way on the horizon, I don't know if it'll show up on the camera or not, but I think I can see the lights of Lyon, which I think is still about 60 or 70 kilometers away, but I'm almost there. I think that might be it. So as I'm making my way out of town this morning, I'm going to thank my new Camino friend Maria, who ended yesterday's video assuring my sister Gail that I have indeed been eating. But she and I actually met days ago in Burgos at the albergue. The cathedral there, the albergue, or was it the church albergue? And we kept meeting on the trail and ended up talking together a lot. And then I ended up getting, ahead of her because I was walking a bit longer and a little faster each day. But when I got sick, it turns out it put us back on the trail together. We ran into each other yesterday and hiked almost the whole day together yesterday, and had a great conversation. She's a really nice woman who's a doctor in Barcelona who serves the underserved, a lot of immigrants and people like that, and has had a really interesting life. Traveled around the world as a doctor to India and Africa doing volunteer work and things like that. And as it turns out, we have very much the same taste in cinema and things like that. So we had a really great time talking, and she gave me some advice on how to make myself feel better after my little ailment. And yeah, so that's one of the nice things about walking. I've met it's not just her, but I've met lots of people earlier. Bonnie and Jack talked to you, and we'll probably get together back in Dallas in another month or so. So yeah, the people you meet along the way is as much a part of the adventure as anything else. I kind of feel like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, meeting all these new people. But yeah, so thanks again to Maria for, I think I mentioned she actually bought my dinner last night. So thanks so much for the companionship, and as well as a really nice dinner last night. Okay, here I am. And I think I see a little cafe up there where I can maybe get a little something for breakfast, take this load off my back and rest my feet for a few minutes, and then get on my way. Well, I'm striking out today. It's not even 8:30 yet, but this place has already closed for their breakfast, and they're taking, I guess, their morning siesta. And I'm told this is the only That's the only one in town. So actually what I might do is just go ahead and have a seat back here, take out my water and my snacks, and just have a little break. Okay, so I'm leaving this town. I had kind of a quasi breakfast and snacks, and actually just as I was finishing up, it turns out the little cafe I was sitting at opened up, and I was able to go in and get a quick cup of coffee, so I've had a little bit of a caffeine fix even. So where will I be stopping today? I'm actually, these maps, I don't know, I'm either misreading them or they're misleading, but I'm actually making better progress this morning than I was counting on, and looks like there's another town that I think was my original place I was planning on stopping this evening, but I think I'm going to get there earlier than I had planned. The problem is the next town looks like it's about 12 and a half kilometers away. So that's gonna take me probably another 2.5 hours to get there. So question is, you know, will I move on to the next town? And if I do that, that will make my hike into Leon a lot easier tomorrow, because that's what I'd really like to do. If I don't do it, it'll be pretty significant hike tomorrow. So whenever they leave these large gaps of, you know, 15 or more kilometers, or I guess in this case 12 and a half, I think, it makes it a hard decision about whether or not I want it to go on or not. So it's going to really depend upon how I feel, what the weather's like. You know, once I get to this next town, if I get there when I think I'm going to get there, what time it, you know, will it be? If it's gonna, is it gonna maybe even be before noon? Who knows? And if that's the case, you know, I would probably arrive at the next place around 2:30, which is okay, a little bit later than I like to arrive. I like to stay out of the hottest part of the days if I can, as far as hiking, and be able to spend a little time, you know, in the towns walking around, you know, before I check into the albergue or and get in bed. But so yeah, it's gonna sort of depend upon what time I get to this next town, how I feel, and you know, what the sun is doing to me at that time. So those three factors will determine whether or not I go on to the next town. You know, it's funny how what it's like on the Camino changes from day to day. Today, I've pretty much been all by myself on the trail, but as you know, those of you who have been following my vlogs, you know, I've met lots of people along the way, and early on, you know, I hiked a lot with my friends Jack and Bonnie, you know, and then also a couple from fellow Texans, Jeff and Tina. Hiked with them a bit and talked with them, and then, you know, from yesterday's, you know, that I spent a good bit of time walking and talking with my friend Maria, and you know, that makes it fun when you're walking along the trail and you have people to talk to and walk, and then, but then you have days like today where it's just me and the trail and one foot after the other. And it's a very different kind of experience, you know, especially when you're in the areas like this where you don't have a lot of the same kind of scenery that you do in the mountains and stuff. It's a very different kind of a experience. So yeah, who knows what lies ahead. I'm sure that I'm going to be meeting more people along the way, and the atmosphere will change once I get further along. So we'll see what the future holds on the trail. Hello, little guy. Okay, so I'm now entering, or about to enter, be another 10-15 minute walk probably, enter the town that I had originally thought would be my destination for today, but it is so doggone early. I've gotten here so much earlier than I thought I would that I feel like I have to go on. But like I said, the only problem is I think the next opportunity for me, as far as I know, for anything, food, water, and a place to stay, is going to be at least another 12.5 kilometers, I think. Okay, I think I can at least come close to pronouncing this town, El Belgarnero. I'm just entering, and like I said, this is where I thought I was going to spend the night, but it's just too early, way too early for me to stop. And I'm gonna have to make the commitment to making it to the next town. And if it goes the way things are going, it won't be too bad. But if I'm misreading the maps in the opposite way, and it ends up being a longer trek, then it could be a decision I might kind of regret. But okay, I see a little cafe coming up. I might take advantage of that and take a little break right here before I head on, take the weight off my back for a while before I head out for what's going to be my much longer trek of the day. There's always something interesting along the Camino. I've been walking along this portion of the trail and lined by these trees, but the trees have these knitted or crocheted sleeves around them, and various different colored grid patterns all along the way here. Very interesting, and it kind of reminds me of my mother, who liked to crochet a lot. Oh, I just realized that these trees are coming up, not just lining the Camino, but they're coming up to what looks like a cemetery of some sorts. So I don't know if it has anything to do with that or not. Yeah, interesting. So maybe that crochet stuff, might just be a coincidence, but yeah, interesting. So yeah, that reminder of my mother's crocheting and reminder of my mother just as I approach that cemetery is a little interesting. It brings up the topic of why a lot of people hike the Camino. It's an opportunity to reflect and deal with issues in their life, and a lot of times that's grief. And my mother passed away a little over 3 years ago, so it was interesting that I saw those little reminders of my mother just as I was approaching that cemetery. But on that topic of people sharing about their experiences and their reflections as they hike the Camino, especially during these less spectacular visual parts of the trail, and when I'm walking all by myself and alone, it does give me a chance to do that. And so it's not that I'm not reflecting like a lot of other people, as I'm hiking the Camino. But I just have decided that I'm not really inclined to share that. I know a lot of people find benefit in sharing when they talk about personal aspects of their lives, and even things like grief and things like that. And I think that's fine, especially I've got Facebook friends, people I see on Facebook that share about difficult times in their lives and the grief that they experience. And I think that's fine if that's what helps them deal with their life's challenges and coming to terms with the difficult aspects of their lives. For me, however, it's not something I feel compelled to do publicly. If I have a close friend and I feel that sharing more personal things like that will make us closer and enhance our relationship, yeah, I have no problem sharing personal things with people that are close to me, but not necessarily in a public venue. So I've decided I'm not really going to do that in my my blogs. But it's not to say that, you know, other people that do things like that, I think that's fine, especially if it helps them. But the bottom line is, you know, we all deal with things. We all have grief and regrets and things like that in our lives. And we all, you know, deal with it in different ways. But like I said, the bottom line is, I see myself as a very, very lucky person. I've definitely had my life challenges, and I've definitely dodged some bullets. I've had some difficult times in my life where you know, maybe less fortunate people might not have come through them as well as I did, and so I consider myself very lucky. I'm lucky and delighted that I'm in a situation where I can come out here on the Camino and have a great experience like this. You know, find time to reflect and opportunities to meet new people from all around the world and things like that. So I'm one heck of a lucky guy, and you know, that's what makes me happy, expressing my good fortunes. Yeah, I've had some difficult times in my life and things that I regret, and yeah, I tend to keep those things a little more personal. Maybe some of my regrets I can share with you about some missteps, plenty of missteps that I've made in my life. But the more personal things, like my personal grief and things like that, I'll probably keep most of that to myself. Looks like I have to share the Camino. You guys gonna let me by? Are we good here? I'm coming. You gonna let me through? Yeah, it's all good. Goats and sheep, it's all good. It's all good. Make room. Make room for the pilgrim. Making room, making room. Making room. Making room. Can we make room? We gonna make room? You're okay. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, little guy. Let me through. Let me through. There's a little goat guy over there. Yeah, look at these guys. Little goats. Okay, I'll go around this way. Give you guys a little more room. Lots of goat poop. Yep, lots of goat poop. Goat and sheep poop. It's all good. It's all good. Buen camino. Buen camino. All right. That was fun. Okay, so I've arrived at my destination town, and I'm looking for the municipal albergue, which should be around this bend right here. Looks like we have a little bar that's right here that's not open. I may be back here once it opens. But the municipal albergue, oh, looks like there's a sign for it right there ahead. So I should be there soon.